All right. So in my neck of the woods, it's the 29th right now. So it will be quite a while before this video comes out just because of the way I've started to manage my channel. That's because with me going back to work, and I hopefully a lot of you will be going back to work soon as well. I hope all is well. The way I started doing stuff is I started doing like a every other day kind of upload speed, and just like trying to blow through games and enjoy them at the same time. In that sense that, you know, it takes a while for the videos, the series to be completed, but I don't really have time to do games and edit all of them at release, unfortunately, but that's just where I am in life. But I am going to try to keep this schedule up every other day kind of thing. Hopefully, you know, there may become a time where I really slack off and just don't get it, but you know, they say once you build a habit, you can kind of keep into it, and I've been doing it for quite a while now. I think I've gotten over a month's worth of videos, so hopefully all is good, and I won't trail out the path too much. But what I want to do is, it's really late, but maybe that's what we'll start doing. Maybe we'll just call these super late reviews. Who knows? After everyone stops caring. But I have beaten Doom Eternal, and I've just been I'm rendering the last few episodes, going back and doing Doom Eternal, and I really think that it is a much better version of Doom 2016. I mean, in a sense, like, a lot of people like Doom 2016, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Personally, I didn't think it was a bad game, but I just felt like they should have upped the pace in it. Maybe gave you a lot more weapons earlier on or something, because like I was so bored, man. You know, there's not a giant variety of things you get into in 2016, in my opinion, and thus eventually I just kind of got bored of it. But I was not bored at all playing Doom Eternal. The movement, it's literally, it becomes like a battle trance. The game, yeah, it's actually got a good lore, which in my playthroughs I read through the lore as well. But beyond that, you know, it's just like something you jump in, you play, whatever, brain dead. It's not really. There's so much stuff you have to manage, and it's like at first I was kind of pissed off because it was like I can't use just my favorite gun all the time. That's kind of the point. Like, I think if in the last game, it felt like in 2016 the armor was like not very attainable. Like, I didn't really care that I had armor because it's like I'm just trying to get health back, you know. So you can just super shotgun everything, just getting ammo back a lot. And in this game, everything's a resource. Your chainsaw, your frag grenade, your ice grenade, your flame belch, the hook on your the shotgun for mobility, the double dash, the double jump, the mantling, the I don't know, not ballet, gymnastic bars. Like, it's just, there's 10 things. There's all that. Plus you got glory kills. Like, I ain't got enough fingers, man. I'm about to bring out some toes. Glory kills. You got blood punch. You got your crucible late game. You have 2 blood punch charges late game, actually. Like, man, there's just so much stuff. Like, you got your ammo types are kind of like, you got like a softer version and then a heavy version with the share ammo types. So you're constantly swapping between them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you chain them, and it's just a lot of my gameplay, I didn't get like super hyped, but inside I feel it, and there's nothing. It's so satisfying. The gameplay, once you get into it, like, by the time the fight's over, I don't want the fight to be over. I'm just getting warmed up into the fight most of the time. Like, now, some of them late game get a little convoluted where there's just so many Uber units where, you know, it's like, hey, I'm having a hard time managing all of this at once, you know. But, man, like, there's certain things in the game that just, you know what? Beyond the talking about the arenas yet, let's go back to gameplay. Holy shit, like, you have runes, you have things to upgrade your grenades, your flame belches, all of that, your ammo supply, all of those things. You know, you pick up like late game in my playthrough. I went through most of the game with the same 3 runes, right? I went like blood punch for heals, glory kills from far away, and if I kill something under the duration of like my flame belts or my grenades, that it lowers the cooldown. But I used those for like the majority. I was like, man, I don't even need these other ones, right? And it became a complaint. I was like, why don't I have all of these? Like, it would feel so cool to have all of these. Like, I just feel more and more like a god, right? You don't need them. Once you get into the meat of it, you don't need all of them. But for certain things, like literally, like I had such a hard fight with the con maker. I streamed for a long time that day, and I got off. But then when I was going to bed, I started thinking about it. I was like, man, there's that slowdown. That thing, when you aim in the air, it slows you down, that rune. I was like, maybe I'll try that. And then it was so much easier, man. So much easier to do the con maker fight. There's just such a plethora of things. I played on ultra violence, and I was glad I did so. It was pretty hard at first, especially considering like you take so much damage. And then also you're not very good at the game. Like, that's the thing is, I did have some complaints like during the gameplay and the playthrough, but I think I do come back and I'm like, hey, this is not that bad. And it's me being an idiot. Like some arenas, like I would die in a really small corridor. That's not where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? The only one of those that was really like that was like a weapon challenge. I died a few times too, which going back, I could do it now going back. Right? I couldn't do it at the time. It was really hard. I did actually really try to do it. I actually burned extra life doing it. So, but coming back, I could probably do it now, especially with more health, more armor, more weapons, more know-how, more insta-gib. But I think I also forgot to mention the chainsaw. Like like people are just like, you know what? I don't want a chainsaw everything. Like, wait, I mean, I don't even use the 3 charges on the chainsaw most of the time. I usually just use the 1. I'm constantly getting ammo. Like, it's cool to get an insta-gib, but you have things that you don't need to use for instant gib once you get to the late game. You got crucibles, blood punches, blood punch, meat hook into blood punch into super shotgun. That's a lot of damage. You know what I mean? So just the gameplay itself, man, it's like it's you get into such a battle trance and battle hardened. It's just you're just cycling through all this stuff once you actually get into it, man. Like you really get into it. You're just cycling. And it's one of the most satisfying, I don't want to say not satisfying games. I mean, it is a satisfying game, but first person shooter wise, single player, like, holy man. I mean, it's just, I wish it didn't end. Like, I honestly wish it didn't end. By the time you truly get it, you're pretty much at the end game. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess I could go back and play Ultra Nightmare, but I don't know. Like, I kind of like just the way it was. It's weird to say. I don't know if I want it to be too much more because it feels like some enemies I still die. You know what I mean? I still died a good amount of times. I just didn't get just pounded, but you know, in the end, it was very satisfying. I do feel like maybe with the mobility, I know a lot of people are just like, oh, it feels like Quake or something like that, but man, it just feels really good. Like just dashing around. I guess in a sense, like fighting the Marauders for me, if you start messing up, this is, by the way, I guess we could touch on this now. People don't like Marauders, right? I've seen several reviews and I've seen several counter arguments about the Marauders, and I agree with the counter reviews, or the counter points is the fact of they aren't that big of a deal once you get it down to just you and them. Now, when there's other things in the way, you have to get those other things out of the way because fighting the Marauder is a duel, is a actual duel. But that being said, people are approaching it in the wrong way, I think, because he does his attack with you, right? And yeah, he might use a shotgun, he might swing, shoot the blade at you. You know, you kind of play your range and you counterattack him when he glows green, right? His eyes glow green. He's pretty much swinging the axe at you. Okay, super shotgun. Second weapon, ballista. When you swap to the ballista, you can shoot a shot instantly. So it's whoosh, like it's instantly. You know, it's like super shotgun, ballista shot. And on PC, I've been told that you can swap, even since you can swap so much better, you can hotkey, you can swap to rocket launcher, so you can boom, 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 boom. I mean, just dump damage on him. Like, you know what I mean? It almost insta gives him. So in that sense, it's just like, you just gotta get good. Literally, about almost all the things, you have to get good. That's all it is. It's just, you have to learn. You're fighting him wrong way. You're doing the wrong things. Don't shoot his shield. Imps and stuff will shoot his shield and spawn the dog, but don't shoot the shield and it won't spawn the dog. That's it. Like, you can literally, I think it's a massive help once you get the flame hook on the shotgun unlocked. Oh my god. You just, not only the extra mobility, but just closing the range on people, and the armor, man. Just the armor is so good in this game. Like, it's so much better than the last one, where it's like, is actual other resource. Like, the other one's like, oh, I got just like, what, 20 armor? Like, oh, well, I lost it, you know? Like, at least this one you keep getting it back. I think I think that it's kind of unwarranted the hate the Marauders get, because they are pretty cool, and you know, it's kind of like you're fighting yourself, basically, in a way, you know what I mean? Like, if you're fighting another Slayer, it's kind of how it'd be, just relentless, dashing, attacking, super fast, and frustrating. That being said, you know, I just, some people don't want to broaden their spectrum, or they don't want to rethink what they're doing. Sometimes you gotta step back, and you're the issue. It's not the issue of the game. I will say, I think the most I got frustrated with stuff was like I said, in those tight corridors, but a lot of times I found out later, or after the fight was over, or it was just me being dumb because it wasn't where I had to be stuck. But maybe they can make it a little more obvious that you did not have to take such a bad fight in that situation and feel like you're stuck. You know what I mean? Like, there's some, and later in the game, there's some stuff that's pretty vertical. And I'm just like, I didn't realize I had to like mantle and get up and around. And it's like, hey, they pretty much spawn all of them on your head. And you're supposed to like jump around and get around and then take them on, and they chase you. And that's kind of how it's supposed to go. Anyways, most of the things in the game, I had like very little true issues with, besides just complaining because I like to complain. You know what I mean? Like, in the moment, like, oh, this is dumb. I did run into several bugs. One, I had to restart a whole mission because the door will not open. There's a few times I got stuck inside of things. There's a few times when I mantled and all of a sudden I just fall off of things. It's kind of, I mean, they were very frustrating in the moment, but, you know, looking back, it's like, I mean, I guess I can let those things go, you know. At least it wasn't like it was an early mission. I didn't have to start over like a big, huge mission or nothing like that. You know, it was like an early game one, not that bad. So let's see, that's Marauder. I think the boss fights were kind of, I don't know if they were great. They're okay. That, you know, I don't see how some enemies that you do turn to a boss fight are going to be that amazing, like the final boss fight. When you fight giant things in games, it just tends to, I think it goes better if you fight something that's like close to your size, you know what I mean? Like, it just, in that case in point, like, Devil May Cry, I think like the best fight is against, well, should I even say it? I'll just say it. Against Virgil in the end, you know what I mean? That's the best fight, in my opinion. There's other fights against really huge things, but the best fight in the end is against Virgil. It's something that's your size. You duel it, you know what I mean? I feel like that has the most, it has the most mechanics you can put into it and stuff like that. There's a lot of big things you can do, but if you just you pin yourself to fighting a giant monster, it's like there's only so much you can do to fight a giant monster. Anyways, the boss fights are okay. I didn't play all of Doom 2016, so I can't really touch on if they're any better or worse than that. But I do, I didn't mind the boss fights in this game. Like I said, I had to rethink my tactic against the Con Maker. Against those enemies, if you're having a hard time with that boss fight, that's what you should probably do, is get the slowdown rune. Another thing that really I felt was a lot better than the original was or 2016 was the arenas and the levels. Like there was a lot of variety and like big landscapes and things that were just really interesting to look at, that went along with the lore that you wanted to explore. Things I started getting a lot of collectibles later in the game just cuz I got to start getting a feel for how they're hiding them in a way. But it's also, it's just, man, just some of the things are insane. Like you can see so far the landscape, the skybox, whatever you want to call it, man, the level design in this game I feel like is really good. I would say if I had to give a gripe about this game in general, it would probably be the fact that with the parkour, with the first person platforming, it does feel like, hey, I'm fighting, and now I have a lull. I have to jump and climb my way around the whole entire world. You know what I mean? There's no traveling fast in a sense. There are places you travel fast, but I'm just saying, you start to feel that way after a while. And in a sense, they didn't have puzzles because the parkour itself was puzzles, and that is, you know, not the funnest thing in the world. But after a while, I didn't mind it too much. It's a very minimal gripe in my opinion. Nothing's perfect anymore. Nothing is ever going to be perfect again. You know, like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, it's perfect. Nah, nothing's perfect. But this is definitely one of the better. Definitely one of the better games I have played in a long time, and I feel like it is a very big improvement on Doom 2016. I like the weapons that are in the game. I like the levels. The boss fights are okay. The parkour is okay. There's nothing in the game I feel is just terrible. So yeah, I guess that's it. You know, I didn't want to rant too much and too long. We'll make this one, you know, a little under 20 minutes, something like that. But I have my whole playthrough should be up by the time this video is up. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you get a chance to enjoy Doom. If you haven't played it yet, you know, you might not want to get it full price. You may be able to wait if you haven't had it spoiled. Even if you have had it spoiled, I mean, the story beats, they're good. The lore is good. I actually like the lore. The story beats are good. The music's amazing. Obviously the music's amazing. Let's not even joke ourselves. But you can pick it up a little bit later when it gets a little cheaper, for sure. And it's a really fun game. I haven't touched multiplayer like at all, but I do not regret picking up this game. I do not regret playing Doom Eternal. I've really had a blast, and it makes me feel like I've never felt playing a first-person shooter ever. Like, you feel like a god. It's an amazing feeling. The Doom dance, as they say, is definitely a thing, and is really enjoyable. And I guess that's all the praise I can give the game, guys. Like, you have to get in there and get your hands dirty. So thanks for watching this little review. I hope you guys are having a safe time. I know it was a hard time that we went through. We may still be in it by the time it comes out, but just, man, keep your head up, okay? We'll all, you know, as long as we're all here, man, you know, just be better. You know, let's try not to let this thing overtake us. Let's try to keep level-headed. A lot of times in life, as long as you do your due diligence, eventually, even though you can go through the muck and the shit, man, you will eventually land on your feet. And I hope everyone's doing okay out there. Thanks for watching this review. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Twitch especially. Really would like to try to build my Twitch and my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you have not already. Share it with someone that you think would like this content or any of my playthrough. Because word of mouth is probably the biggest thing for me, especially being a smaller channel. But thanks for everything, and have a safe life, man. Just take care of each other and be safe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next video.